That thing's
Plus or minus.
Yeah. Looks like that thing's full.
Oh, God. Nobody's looking.
Hmm.
No, not right now. I mean,
Yeah.
looking at the ADU. they're up on the- So I did looking at all.
He didn't hear me say, we're gonna see. So just sit here.
ADU house, or the same time last year. They're up there.
Are you ready? I am ready. Okay.
Do you have an update?
Okay.
People are fine. Reset. Know what it is.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock and we're gonna call the city council meeting to order. Please stand. The pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and I think, Tom, you're here to do the prayers. If you'll come to the podium, please.
Lord God, creator and sustainer of life, we thank you, Lord God, for the blessings you shower upon us. We thank you, Lord, for giving us a form of government where we self-govern. Lord, we thank you for that opportunity. We thank you for the blessings that you pour on Port Aransas and its people. Lord God, we thank you for those that are willing to serve, giving of their time and wisdom to steer this city in the direction you want it to go. Lord God, keep your eye on us. Bless us. Thank you, Lord God, for all the things that you give us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so item 3 is proclamations and presentations. So today we have a presentation of the 45-year of designated and dedicated service award to the one and only Judge Duncan Neblett in recognition of his outstanding dedication and service to Port Aransas. So I have a little blurb, but I think I'm just going to wing it because that's a little better to do.
Your neighbor, just wing it.
We're- I don't know that there's anyone in Port Aransas that isn't internally grateful for your service and your dedication to Port Aransas, Duncan, not only for your roles in both the JP, that's an elected position, but obviously as our city municipal judge. I think 45 years seems like a really long time, and I can't imagine it's gone by this fast for you. Probably just seems like yesterday that you and Georgia came to Port Aransas and have given your whole lives to all the wonderful things that you've done. But we as a city are honestly eternally grateful, and we can't thank you enough for everything that you have done and continue to do. And I can't imagine Port Aransas without Judge Duncan Neblett. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very, very much. And I know we have,
Right.
yeah, we did.
Thank you.
You got the big one.
And we're gonna get you in that new office and court. Before you,
He's like, I don't believe it, right?
you kind of back up.
That's gonna be the part, this is so heavy, but I know you're a big, strong man. No, shrink it for your desk.
Oh, that's true.
Wait, let me get out of the back.
She love when you see
Oh,
that.
Which one with your fancy camera?
Yeah, that's right. My backup. Right, anybody else? All right.
Picture with George and your
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Aw. Hey.
All right. You got time.
Yeah.
It's a short agenda.
I'll drop that on your other foot. Yeah, exactly.
It'll be a short speech.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, thank you all. Thank you,
Thank you.
city manager, mayor, council, and everybody in Port Aransas. Ooh, I can be a real hard guy on the bench, but I just, things like this really touch me. And I'll tell you what, for whatever
me or I and Georgia have done for Port Aransas. Port Aransas has done 10 times more for us. We are so fortunate to have been here, and gosh, looking at you young people. I remember when I came, at the time, Roy Maddox, none of you all remember his name, but he was the chief of police at that time. And he found me somewhere and said, "Hey, you want to be city judge?" Anyway, the prior city judge had retired. So I said, "Well, sure, that's great." And that was 45 years ago,
Wow.
I guess. And one day we may be in a new building, but I remember the one back then, and you folks that have been here, remember the little, well, we had a courtroom and the constable's office and some jails, cells, and room for our clerk and their typewriters and their big red docket books. I don't know if you ever saw them, but you know, back in those days, that's how the records were kept. And here we are now. Wow. I've had some incredible life experiences as judge. Gosh, I won't name any names on the council or sitting in the mayor's chair.
Oh.
But I'll tell you this much, as a young girl, younger girl,
Younger.
her mother taught her to make brownies and bring them to the judge, bring them to the house, just in case. What did he say? And I'll be darned if she didn't, and it worked. And now she taught her daughter the same thing, and we live just right down the block. I get a knock on the door, here's Callie with brownies. I don't think she's ever even been in trouble with her mother before.
No.
That.
Well, they keep it inside
Yeah.
their house. But gosh, it has been a great experience. Thank you all for the honor of serving you. And I certainly appreciate and will treasure my home. I was afraid Daniel would want.
Do you have any stories on him?
Thanks.
I'm kidding.
When your new room and office and spot is all ready, which hopefully will be soon, we'll have a big party and celebration.
Yes.
So
I like
it's
that.
really nice.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Duncan.
Thank you.
Did the bounties pay off, Mayor?
No.
They haven't paid off yet? You haven't needed the.
No.
Yes, my kids needed some brownies. They were part of the great Palladium bust of 2023. 2021.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Right.
Cutest little couple ever.
Bye.
Appreciate All right.
All right. Item 4 is citizen comments and reports, and I believe there are none. So we'll move on to item 5, which is the consent agenda. And the consent agenda is the city council meeting minutes from December 18th. And item B, which is an ordinance, second reading amending chapter 2 administration, article 3 municipal court by adding a new section 2-34 collection fee and to establish a fee to defray costs of collecting delinquent fines, fees, court costs, and other debts pursuant to Article 103.0031 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Is there anybody that wishes to pull an item from the consent agenda, or is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Fran, please call the roll.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
Councilmember Krieger,
Yes.
Mayorperson Crawford,
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, item 6, Items for regular consideration. So we'll start with C, which is a resolution ordering a joint general election and establishing procedures for said election to be held Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. The general election shall be for the purpose of electing a mayor and 3 council members to fill positions 2, 4, and 6, providing other matters related to general election and authorizing the city secretary to enter into the joint election agreements with other local political subdivisions.
All right, the general election is here. We are going to enter into a joint election agreement with the Port Aransas School District this year. They are planning, I think, on having some bond elections on their for their election. We are required to appoint the election judge and alternate election judge. I want to give a shout out to them. They're great. We've had them for about 3 years and they do a great job and they're always willing to serve. So I sent their names out earlier. We are looking for Mr. Titlebaum to be our judge and alternate judge for to be Sue Buck. Like I said, they're doing great and we take care of them and they keep coming back. So I'm very appreciative of them. Early voting by personal appearance will be from April 20th to the 28th. These dates are weekdays only, so if y'all want to make a change, you can definitely do that. So if you want to designate a weekend or extended voting, we have to do that in the original order. So that has to be done tonight. The school district is waiting on us to get the times and the dates for them so they can call their election next week. So I have to get that to them pretty quick for like tomorrow. So we are not required to hold extended voting for the 2 12-hour days anymore. But if council wants to do that, then you have to, of course, make that decision tonight. Any questions for that?
I don't have any questions, but I do certainly think that for those who work both in Port Aransas and outside of Port Aransas, extended time is very beneficial because some people can't make it between the 8 and 5 hours. So I think it would be important to extend that time to 7 p.m. from the 7 to 7. Maybe not every day of early voting, but maybe at least maybe the last 2 final days.
We can-
And I don't know what the rest of the council
think
thinks,
that's-
but I think
yeah.
it's important to have some extended hours.
Mhm.
So
So the 20 in the motion, just make that change that we're going to extend the early voting for the 27th and 28th from 7 to 7.
okay.
What days does that fall on?
That's a Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday,
Mhm.
okay.
So it would be Monday through Friday and then the additional Monday, Tuesday before the general election on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So Monday through Friday, it will be 8 to 5,
Mhm.
and then the following Monday, Tuesday, 7 to 7, and election day, 7 to 7.
Perfect. Is that okay with
I think
everybody
that's
else?
good.
Mhm.
Okay.
Everybody should be able to make
Any
that.
other questions? I know next year you're going to see some changes for the election, the length of the election early voting. It's going to go to 12 days. So
Wow.
Secretary of State has not come out with that ruling just yet. So we'll be looking at 12 straight days come next year in 2027.
Okay.
All right. So is there a motion adding those extended time hours?
Make a motion to approve the resolution ordering the joint election to be held on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026 for the purpose of electing the mayor and council members for the positions 2, 4, and 6, establishing election procedures and authorizing the city secretary to enter into joint election agreements with the local political subdivisions and an extension of 7 to 7 for the days of April 27th and 28th.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, Fran, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bricker. Oh, yes. Councilmember Chambers.
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen.
Yes.
Chairperson Crawford.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Item D, discuss and take action on the review of the interlocal beach parking permit agreement between the city of Port Aransas and the city of Corpus and Nueces County, including consideration of adjustments to the parking permit fee, potential revisions to the interlocal agreement, and required amendments to the city's coastal management plan.
So recap, so we've had this before you guys. I think it was the September meeting. And then at the October meeting, and the discussion was kind of a couple different things, but one, adjusting the $12 permit up to 20, which has not been changed, I believe, since 2000 and
I thought it was
Four or
94, I thought.
Oh.
Oh, 2004. Thank you,
2000,
Mike.
and we do have our friend,
From the city of Corpus. in
yeah,
the back.
Michael in the back there. Who's sitting in he's been working with us on this. He'll be taking the lead on the Corpus Christi side, so he's joined us tonight, but I think it was, you said 2000 and what? 2004, it was raised to $12. And so we haven't seen an increase in 21 years. But the other part of this is some adjustments to the interlocal to where the city of Port Aransas would keep its sales from inside its city with sharing 16% of that with Nueces County, and then Corpus Christi keeps its sales from within their city, sharing 16% of their sales with Corpus Christi. So the overall 16% that the Nueces County gets doesn't change. They're still getting their 16% total. It's just carved up a little bit different between the two entities. Those are two of the major changes. A couple of the other changes can take place down the road. One of which is the amount that we give the beach vendor and the amount that we give our local vendors, like, the off beach sales.
Okay.
So they come in, there's two different fees for that. There's a 50-cent fee for yeah, so all them, they get a 50% bump. And then the beach person, the beach sales that take place on the beach, they get a dollar, correct?
That was done through the RFP process, which has to be done next.
Right.
Their contract will
Yeah.
end December.
And that was part of the original interlocal, but if we split, if the two entities keep their own funds, then that issue becomes between us and the county, technically, not us and city of Corpus Christi. We could each have various co-shares of how we treat our vendors. So, but that's irrelevant if we split and collect our own funds. But that's something that we could bring you guys at a later date. The other big thing with this would be the changes to the city's coastal management plan, which would be a coastal management plan amendment. And Nicole, I mean, it could take anywhere from 6 to 8 months, 6, 7, 8 months, easy. They're not quick. Our goal would be to have the interlocal in place within the next couple months so that we could immediately, sometime in April or even March, kick off the amendment to the GLO coastal management plan, get that rolling, hopefully get that in place by, like September, October. We print the beach stickers in October, and they do not have a value on them, just the date. So we have that's kind of a date that we need to, even if the whole thing fell apart and it went back to right where it was, we would at least have to start printing beach stickers in October, regardless.
They just have a date on them, right? I mean,
Yeah, they just have it. They just have the year date. So the goal is to have this change in place by the 2027 sales, which we typically start. When do we start selling permits?
Second week of December.
Yeah.
third week.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the timeline. So I don't know how quick Nueces County is going to move on things. What about Corpus? Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, come on.
Stickler for the quorum. Hi, Mike Dice, City of Corpus Christi Interim Assistant City Manager. First, let me thank City Manager Parsons and Mayor Moore for all the conversations we've had. We spoke to Scott Cross yesterday with the Nueces County Parks. They are taking it to County Commissioners Court on the 11th. We will
February. Yeah.
February. We will be following up behind that on the 17th.
Okay.
Okay.
We have already been to our Island Strategic Action Committee group. They are in
Okay.
full support. They're going to
Okay.
be giving us a letter at their next meeting. We've met with stakeholder groups such as Surfrider Foundation. They are also in support. So we are looking forward to getting this started. And again, to add what city manager has already laid out, by us coordinating these things together, we hope that it's not the 6 or 8 month drawn out process. We're going to go all 3 entities with GLO together, and that hopefully should speed up the process.
I like that word together.
And it may be a little friendly competition that you guys see.
Huh?
Then us, but
That's okay.
it's
We're up
just
for
a
it.
new day with
Right.
beach permit sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your help, Mike,
Oh, no
very
problem.
much. You've been great. And yeah, I have reached out to some folks both on the county and the city side as well. So I think everyone's, pretty much in agreement. We need to move forward. It's just time to do that.
Correct.
Mhm.
And again, we're here to help as much as we can. We want to make this successful for everybody.
What was the date that they're going to commissioners? court?
The 11th, I believe, is what he said. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And just to clarify, so what we're proposing now, these stickers will be good for any beach in Nueces County.
Yeah, it's the same. So the,
Okay,
the
making
beat,
sure.
the interlocal still stays
Okay.
intact.
I
Yeah.
like that. And that's still a reasonable price. I've been to other places where their beach parking
A day.
for a day is $20, and for a year it can be 200 or 300. So
So we're utilizing comparisons in our presentation.
yeah.
We're using South Padre, which is $100 a year.
Is that
Yeah,
for Cameron
it is.
County?
Cameron County's
Yeah.
$100, and it's a parking permit pretty much
Oh.
off beach.
okay,
Galveston has a $50
Mhm.
beach permit, and they have a $45 seawall parking permit.
okay.
So
we're
we're
still way under that.
way under.
What's Surfside? Does
Yeah,
anyone know what Surfside?
way
They
under
don't
that.
have that.
Yeah.
And again, what we've tried to convey to all of our stakeholders is this isn't a revenue grab. We're trying to plan ahead.
Mhm.
And I think City Manager Parsons laid this out for y'all. We're trying to plan ahead for beach renourishments and things that are getting very costly. So
Right.
we can still maintain that access to the
Yeah.
beach. That's the most
$20
critical.
a year. I mean, even if that's for a week, for a week visitor,
I would
that's,
consider it a bargain.
it's a bargain. I agree.
And based on what our rates were in 2004 to today.
Look at what's gone up. Yeah.
We're right in line with that.
Right.
So we just have to now keep up with the cost of the renourishment and maintenance of the
Exactly.
beach to provide access to
Mhm.
tourists and locals
Right.
alike.
Surfside's 30 for the year, 15 for a day pass.
Oh, wow.
So I know what we discussed this, and this action item is really just to move forward with the interlocal beach agreement at the $20 and then our revenue sharing agreement. But we do want to make sure that in moving forward with our coastal management plan, that we give ourselves some room to make some adjustments a little bit sooner than 22 years.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
what we're working together on, is to make sure that the plan with the GLO will give us a buffer,
Okay,
as
good.
it were, that we can come back to the councils
Yeah.
and the commissioner's court to make sure that we adjust properly.
Okay.
Make,
Right,
well,
and-
actually
and-
make it easier.
Right.
Yeah.
And that portion I would bring back to you guys as soon as we can get the interlocal, we jump on the GLO, and you guys would have a look at that hopefully in March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we look to be aggressive with getting this done quickly with
Mhm.
GLO.
Yeah, if we could get it looked at and approved in March, then we could all 3 get it to the general land office.
And then we'll talk about at a later time, I know, discussing if there is an opportunity for us to give limited special pricing, if that's possible.
Oh, right,
Discount
right. We
or-
talked about like having a January discount sale day.
Yeah.
GLO,
That's something that the GLO would
We'll have to,
Have to.
have to
approve.
weigh in on.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's hard to judge at this point
Yeah.
what that may be. We've also been in some of our stakeholder meetings that we've asked for, if you're familiar with Texas Parks and Wildlife,
Mhm.
free fishing days.
Mhm.
We may do a free beach day to help promote the beach.
Mhm.
Um,
Good idea.
probably not on the July 4th weekend, but you
No,
know,
please not.
we're looking at different options. And again, as city manager said, we'll follow GLO's lead on what they allow.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
So that would come back to you guys.
Did we talk about too, about having, I guess the fee amount stated in the management plan, right? Is that 15 or? I'm just trying to think of with the amendments and stuff, we thought about not having an exact price stated in it, but yet to have the
Yeah.
ability to adjust accordingly moving.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what he was just saying, yeah.
So the management plan will allow us, with GLO's approval, will allow us to set potentially a cap.
Okay.
And with it, if GLO approves that cap, then it allows the cities and the county to move easy to adjust those fees in between. Where it is right now is if we didn't have that cap and we just set it at 20, if for whatever reason we needed to go to 25, we have to go through this whole program again. So it's a lot easier if we set that cap.
Was there any conversation? I know we've talked and it's come up over years as far as the camping permit, or is that just a nightmare administratively? Or any discussion?
Well, we talked at length about it last time about, did we want to throw in a camping, an additional camping fee, but I don't know where we left that.
But it's not a conversation.
No, that would not, yeah, that wouldn't be part
Right.
of this, yeah. That wouldn't, yeah, that'd be a
This is just
separate, that's a separate,
Yeah, this is just a parking permit, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's
that's a separate issue within the coastal management plan itself
we'd have to do
that
a
we
camping
attempted
Permit, yeah,
10 years ago or something.
yeah.
But certainly worthy of further
Uh,
discussion if you would like,
I think we
Councilman
do, yeah.
Christensen.
I just,
Yeah,
if it's we're not bringing that.
No, 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 I mean, you guys
No.
could bring that up. It's just not part of this
It's
discussion.
not, this
Yeah.
is just the permit. Okay.
okay. Do y'all have any questions for City Manager Parsons or City Manager Michael Dice?
System.
Assistant?
Wasn't getting a promotion.
Well, I'll give you a promotion. Probably wouldn't work anything, but yeah. You've been a great help, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for driving over here.
Okay. Yeah, he lives close by.
He left work early.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
That's right.
All right, so the motion basically, I think, needs to direct city manager to enter into the local agreement, the interlocal agreement, parking permit with the city of Corpus and Nueces County based on the fee that we discussed, the $20, and then adjusting the participant funding to keep each entity keeps its own portion, but both giving 16% to the Nueces County. So is that clear? Chuck?
I think so. I'll try.
Here.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there you go.
Oh, my gosh. Thank
The cheat sheet.
I'll make a motion directing the city manager to enter into a new interlocal beach parking permit agreement with the city of Corpus Christi and Nueces County based on the increased beach parking permit fee of $20 and adjusting the participants' funding to reflect each city keeping its own permit sales and each city giving the county 16% of their permits.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Good job. Hearing none, Fran, please call the roll.
Councilmember Krueger. Councilmember Krueger. Yes, I'm sorry, it sounds like you say Chambers.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
Councilor Christensen,
Yes.
Supervisor Crawford,
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, item E, resolution awarding request for proposal RFP 2515 for airport fence installation at Mustang Beach Airport and designating the city manager as the authorized representative to act on behalf of the city in all matters relating to that bid award.
Okay, so the city, can you pull up my Google Earth, please? Give you guys a lowdown of where exactly this project is.
Broken.
It's broken? Oh, what'd I do?
You broke it?
Huh?
Is it the?
Oh, is it?
You can click down.
Oh, no.
Oh, where?
Coming up?
Oh, do you have your thing on it? Oh, I really broke it.
What? That's it totally. Gone.
Can we pull it up on mine?
No, just tell them where it's at. Okay, so it's actually, there's
Yeah.
kind of a picture in your,
Pages.
Yeah.
there is a picture in your packet. So what this is our budgeted security fence. Remember all the issues of people walking across the runway and with the new addition to the, extension of the runway and the new parking, there's even more security issues because people have the ability to pull off that highway entrance and gain access to the new transient parking. So, the need for a fence has become, you don't see too many airports without fences. If you drive up 77 and drive through all these little town, Hallettsville and they all have fences. It's time for the fence. So what our fence does is and I'll start kind of on Piper Boulevard up behind the hangars. There's a subdivision there, and that subdivision has a pretty significant fence. So we're tying to that corner. And from that corner, we come down and tie into the existing FBO office. We continue down along Piper, positioning the fence to, the layout will mirror or match where future hangars will be along Piper and the animal shelter. Then it dog legs, fronts the highway, and goes down past the new transient parking area. And then it follows, then it continues on a little bit towards the Palladium, and then it starts to cut back into into the airport property, and it follows the 2017 wetland delineation line, and it works its way back and ties into the cable bollard fence of the nature preserve. So, and then in there, in some places are gates, vehicle gates, pedestrian gates for people. There's a vehicle and pedestrian gate at the new transit parking, the one closest to Palladium. There's a new gate and pedestrian gate kind of up Piper Boulevard, close behind the hangars. And then there's a new entry gate at the FBO itself. We put this bid out in late November, early December. And we got 8 bids, which was pretty awesome. So the bids ran from 149 up to 3 something high, 3, what was it, 345? The low bid, which is a firm out of Louisiana, Fencing Unlimited LLC, we've called their references. They actually have been working in the Corpus area quite a bit. One of their projects was at the Port of Corpus Christi. So we called the port engineering staff. Port engineering staff, the guy who oversaw the project said they were great, gave them really high marks, said they came in under budget, under schedule, and he said they were a very pleasant company and they did great work. So he was very happy with their work. The other 2 references were both small airports in Louisiana. Both of them had great reference checks on the company. So Chris Shanklin, he's not here, but Chris did some calling on the next one right above these guys. They also had really high reference remarks and good comments from them also. What's the difference? 15 grand.
15 grand.
But I think the low bidder, Fencing Unlimited LLC, I think that's our recommendation.
I have a question about fence is one thing, but all these bids include gate controllers, installation of gate equipment, correct?
There's only, the only one that has a controller, or excuse me, there's a type of manual punch code
Mhm.
that a lot of people in this area use, so we did spec that one. So that's a really, it works really good in this environment, and it's a manual keypad,
Mhm.
so there's no electronics with it at all. It's all manual
You just
push
got
button.
to know the code.
You just have to know the code. The only one that will have an electronic opening and closing device is the main gate right in front of the FBO, which currently has a controlling device. So we're tapping into that. We're going to be in that same location, tapping into that existing electrical line that provides service for that. And that gate that we've spec'd is a very common gate in this area. So we wanted one that a whole lot of people were using.
Mhm.
So it's a very common gate opening system that's very common in this area. Gets really good remarks and reviews.
Okay.
It's used over at the airport in
Ingleside.
the Ingleside Airport, and it's also used over in Robstown. So it's a pretty standard, good salt environment gate that we're confident will last.
So these guys have the same gauge fence and everything else.
Yeah, so we did spec. So we did
Okay.
we went with a higher spec.
Okay.
We spec'd USA mesh, USA post, and USA built, so all US components on the fence. So it costs you a little bit more, but being in this environment, from all the fence people we were talking to, they were like, make sure you spec a higher grade product. So it's all a high grade. It is high grade chain link fence.
Yeah, my only other concern, and maybe all our staff mechanics can fix all these problems, but gate openers very
Mhm.
often have issues.
Yeah.
And so it's up to finding someone to come out
Yeah.
and repair them and take care of them. And if one of these companies is from Louisiana or somewhere like that, I just want to make sure that we have somebody either on staff
That's why we
or
did.
they will send somebody,
Yeah.
to be able to fix stuff.
And we went with this gate closure.
Uh-huh.
They're in Corpus. So
Okay.
even if, so once we're out of warranty, they're local.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's part of the bid spec, was that the gate closure system had to be regionally abundant.
Sourced or
Yeah.
funded. Okay. Okay. Well, I like that they all got good references and that there was a lot of competitive.
Yeah,
bidding.
there's the-
That's good.
Brandon's got it pulled up there. That's kind of the.
Now that it's extra gated than before, the vehicles that, remember we had some challenges with people parking there for a long, long time
Parking where?
at the airport. They
Yeah.
were storing vehicles.
Yeah. Mhm. So
Is that still?
okay, so this is Pike Boulevard, and you'll see the fence has this little offset where it comes from the FBO.
Yeah.
And then it jogs over and then goes down. That jog is to accommodate vehicular parking on that stretch right there on both sides if we want it. So it's positioned, it's kind of offset there so that you still can park vehicles along that whole frontage.
Do we want to allow vehicles on the frontage?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we want them on both sides. But you'll see it comes up Piper, dog legs to kind of encapsulate the existing FBO parking.
Mhm.
And then it dog legs back, and that's where that main, that's where the one gate with the electronic gate closure will be. The gate right here at the fuel tank, that's the manual swing gate, and then there's the manual vehicular and manual ped gate up here at the behind the hangars for people wanting to access behind the hangars. And then the only other gates are the ones over by the the new parking area, you have a gate, you'll have a gate and a ped gate here, and then the fence follows the wetland delineation and then eventually ties into the existing cable bollard fences and
So
nature
the-
reserve.
The manual gate at the, on
This one?
361, is that for people that just walk to the airport and want to?
No. So this is the new, so
Correct.
you see that, that's the new
Yep.
transient parking.
Yep.
So once we do this almost simultaneously, I'm gonna have Doug go out here and we're gonna build like some temporary caliche parking
Okay.
until we get the funds to do
Yeah.
a real parking lot over there.
So people will be pulling into that area off of 361.
Yeah, so-
And
so-
we cut the parking lot. I mean, we cut the
So
walkway and everything.
There's a driveway, it's not in this image, but there's a driveway about right where the letter G is.
Yeah.
So we put that in. Boy, we put that driveway in when we redid the highway
Mhm.
Okay.
15 years ago. We kind of had this all master plan, so that driveway cut is right there for the purpose of gaining access to that transient parking.
So there'll be a parking area for them, put their vehicles, not park it in their plane and leave it on the parking
Yeah,
area. Okay.
correct.
Okay,
Next
Any other
question would be
questions?
Funding. I know that this particular one on the budget's been one of ours that's been in the red. And then looking at 149 grand here, and I believe there's 100 that I saw that we have for.
So we have 100,000 from TxDOT Aviation for the ramp grant. And usually the ramp grant, we get that every year. It's not always 100, but it went up 100 about maybe 4 years ago. Used to be 50,000. And it can go for maintenance of the airport. Last year, we only filed 15,000 on the ramp grant. So that 15,000 in maintenance, we pretty much do every year. We'll have to eat that, but the whole 100 can go towards this, and that leaves us only the 49 plus about another 15, 20 for airport operations that we won't be able to put against that grant. But 100,000 is a lot to get, so can maximize that grant this year.
Mhm.
And the airport is working itself back up from the large TxDOT Aviation grants that the construction took so long, we had to send additional matches. So it's still clawing its way back up.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, is there a motion to approve with a recommendation for staff to award such?
The motion to approve the resolution awarding request proposal 2025-15 for the Mustang Beach Airport Perimeter Fence Project to Fencing Unlimited LLC. And authorizing the city manager to execute and administer the contract and act as the city's authorized representative in all matters related to the award.
All right, any further discussion? Fran, please call the roll.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers.
Yes.
Councilmember Krueger,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Crawford,
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Item F is the presentation by Broadus and Associates and Del Sol Consulting on Hurricane Harvey recovery progress and project updates. Hello, Rob. Welcome.
Evening, everybody. Hope you're all ready for the best hurricane recovery brief since last year.
Yes,
All right.
already.
Going in order of your,
This last
if you
year.
have any question anytime, please ask.
Okay.
A lot of projects, a lot of things going on. Starting with the PSB, the Public Service Building. The flooring contractors working LVT, the luxury vinyl tiles. They decided not to get the ghetto tiles. So luxury vinyl tiles and the grout line, we talked to the guys this week, Dave and I was there, and we decided on, or he decided on a good looking grout line. It makes a big difference in that big building where the floor meets. It's kind of important, and it's gonna look good. And they're gonna start that work this week. The roofer and the framer, this was kind of a big deal. Roofer and the framer working on the louver trim changes to comply with the warranty. In the back, if you've been around it, there's two humongous louvers that cover the mezzanine area. And the way they were designed and installed, It wasn't meeting their warranty requirements, and they've been going back and forth for months, and the architects and everybody working, engineers and the company, and they decided on what's exactly gotta be done. And that work is in process, so the entire roof, and that's considered the roof, will be under warranty by Tremco. And that was important, so that's very good. The millwork's completed in the booking room, so Chief has some nice new stuff in this. The jail area is the booking room. The millwork is done. And the contractors are working, various subs are working their punch list items in the PSB. Moving on to the gas building, much simpler build. The final paint is complete. The bollards I talked about being delivered last month have been installed. All the regular bollards that are around the building, I think it's 18, they're installed. If you've seen them, they're silver. They're gonna be painted. They're gonna be painted white, not yellow, because it would look funny with 18 yellow things sticking up. So they're white, kind of matches the building, but they're going to have 2 reflective stripes on it, so you'll see it right before you hit it. So, and the 3 real bollards that go around the electrical box, those will be installed when they do some more concrete for some steps. So all of them are installed except for the 3 around the electrical box. And the building's had power for a few weeks now, but the electricians just started prepping last week, and they started this week putting lights and plugs in the building. And that's kind of important, so they can do the security work and stuff. Take it easy, get in there and do some stuff. So the plugs will be next week or 2, the building be electrified, if you will. And another big thing, learned working these buildings, the storefronts are very important, very long lead items. They've been a pain behind. The storefront door installation is actually in progress for the gas building. So the gas building is going pretty good. Moving on to the fire station, the steel erectors completed the tower and the generator enclosure. The big tower you can see from all over town. The roof installation is in progress. It's always nice to get the roof done. That's in progress right now. I think last month I said they're working on the second floor framing for the rooms and all that, and that continues, and they've started the electrical rough-in up on the second floor. This is the main thing for the fire station. You remember last summer we had the concrete issue with the second floor, and they did remediation efforts, designed this and that, and 2 things were putting extra steel on the bottom, which was done a long time ago, and cutting out some concrete on top and putting a special thing in, product in. And that was done a couple months ago. The structural engineer came out last Friday, and the building has to meet strength, what it did, and serviceability. It failed serviceability before because of those issues. And he came out and took his measurements with his zip level thing. And it's a really sharp device to measure everything. And he felt comfortable with the numbers. But he was going back to his office and running through the computer. He says, he said to me, it should be good, but we haven't got the official final report in writing yet. And we should be getting that any day. I called the architect about 2 hours ago, and he hasn't received it yet. A structural engineer works for the architect. So as soon as we get that, or David might get it before me, hopefully we'll let y'all know. And the building will be in full compliance, and FEMA will pay, and everybody be happy, because that's what y'all pay for, and that's the building y'all supposed to get. So hopefully that fix is done. Remediation hopefully is done. Moving on to the gas system, really no changes. You probably see them less and less around. Less than half the workers they used to have. They're doing, like I said, what's called restoration. No major boring, no boring. They're doing some concrete, some asphalt things here and there, and adjusting meters. So that continues. That's another 2-3 weeks of that, and then it's just a paperwork drill. And they verify everything, and then it goes to James' department, the gas department. They verify everything, and hopefully in a couple months everything will be verified and totally done. And they'll be out of here, and no problems with the gas system. Moving on to Public Works Garage, the latest project. They are doing electrical rough-ins, continuing. The plumbing rough-in just started. And building's looking, well, she's doing pictures now. It's good. As you can see, it's still in beginning phases, most of it. The long lead items I've learned from these buildings that we're keeping an eye on, because sometimes they get behind, or if there's a problem or a change, it takes forever to change it, especially if you're getting like Yale doors in Canada or something. It takes forever. So we're kind of, the generator, everything's on time so far. The generator should be here by mid-February. The ATS, automatic transfer switch, which is required to have generator, should be here, January 19th. And the storefront, should be here by late March. And now to the important part, everybody grab your pens. The substantial completion dates provided by Victory. Don't shoot me, chief, I'm just the
You're the messenger.
messenger. These are by Victory. PSB substantial completion date, 24 March. Gas building, 13 March. Fire station, 5 May. The gas system doesn't have really substantial completion, sometime in the first quarter. In the public works garage, they're telling me substantial completion will be 8 June. Any questions?
What did you say? Fire and EMS? What's the,
Fire,
did
fire
you say-
station, 5 May.
okay. Really?
That's what I'm told.
Sorry.
Is it recording? Yeah, that's what I'm told. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Just a
What I'm told.
observation on just the math part of it, sorry. Darla probably, I know you guys give us those updated numbers every month.
Mhm.
And I know that back in 2025, last meeting, we had, I think, showing funds of about 4.1 million and it went down to 4 million. It adjusted about 59K. I just didn't know. I'm just making an observation. I didn't know. That's
Yeah.
anything.
I'd have to check with, they prepare these numbers, they're not mine.
No worries. That was just an
You
observation.
can ask.
I was
Check
just asking.
Thank-
Just an observation.
Maybe-
Thank you, guys.
Maybe so. All right. Item G, discuss and take action on the concept for the design and creation of the Maritime Public Memorial Sculpture.
It's in the packets, the formatting,
Oh,
kind of got most of
It's
the on
okay.
my attachment, so I could reprint it for you.
here, I'll pass it down.
Oh, there, it's two different.
Oh, two. Okay.
I'll tell you what, I enjoyed reading his letter. That was very touching.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm so glad we awarded this to him because
I agree, and I felt
Right?
like fair,
I
saw
was
this work
very
too, I'm
touched by,
excited.
and I think there was a spot where he's like, I promise I will put my whole, what did
Yep.
he say? Yeah. Yeah, it was really touching.
He loves this area and
Yes.
he delivered these by hand, and so it was nice
Oh,
to have him in town
I know.
again and get to talk about the pieces.
Okay.
So that's what I'm presenting to you is two different concepts. So your task tonight is to pick a direction, concept 1 or concept 2. And if you go with concept 1, you're also looking at different height options.
Okay.
So the way it's laid out here is a beautiful. Thank you, Fran, for setting this up. But option 1 is sitting in the center.
Mhm.
And so this is a tall pedestal design. If you choose this option, he will do another maquette at a 24-inch height with more details. So he doesn't want you to pay too much attention to the face and the feathers. All of that will be worked out if that's the route you guys choose
But
tonight.
that one's about what, 15 feet?
So there's a granite block on the bottom that can be 8 foot or 10 foot and a matching height for the figure. And so I'm going to read his description here so that everybody knows, but it's a praying angel with wings folded like a perched bird. If you look at the back, you can see the
Mhm.
feather detail. Simple, clean, ultra durable. So he's thinking what is going to look good, but also what's going to weather well in our community. He's thinking about where people will be able to touch it. He's thinking about rain and erosion and things like that, you know, from his experience as a sculptor. The pedestal would be granite wrapped, and so it could, the dolphins would be mounted on that pedestal underneath the figure, and then it could handle inscriptions or plaques being mounted to it. So you have all that real estate. If you want to add a quote, or if you want to add names, that's, you know, can be
That's
done
what he's
on it.
leaving room for there. Okay.
Yeah, and so then the dolphin circle, He's calling it the Dolphin Circle of Life ring on the column below. Yeah, but what I just said. So we broke down if you wanted a 16-foot total figure, if you want a 20-foot total sculpture, the price goes from about 78,000 if this is 16 feet tall. He is estimating the engineering and concrete and foundation work, all of this. It's just a guesstimate at this point. When he finalizes the design and we get a windstorm engineer to finalize how the foundation needs to be set, then we'll know the price more accurately, but he's just given you kind of a safe little block there for that. And so the dolphin and the figure are out of bronze, not here. This is a wax model, but that's concept number one. She would be facing the park and the dolphins would be facing the park. So,
The park, not the sea?
yeah,
She faces the sea.
She
no,
faces the other way, yeah.
I think she needs to be facing the sea.
I
The whole
think she
point
needs
is
to
that
face the sea.
Sea. It's like she's facing out.
on the picture.
Well, that's the other concept.
so,
about this one. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
So we would see her back if you walked up. You'd have to
Right,
go around to the
because-
front.
I mean, it's up
Yeah,
to you.
right.
I'm just presenting. We can say, you know, we choose option one and we'd like you to consider the following. And direction, location, all those can be, you know, parsed out. So option number two is actually both of these. You're looking at the front, dolphins would face the park and the angel figure would face the sea. And this is a shorter option. So this is 9'8" tall. So it's a haloed female figure emerging from the depths with love and blessings to those in grief. Her hair flows like a river to the sea. Her sleeves flow like waterfalls or the crashing crest of breaking waves. The halo sunrise crests over the top of the granite. On the opposite side, the dorsal fin of the top dolphin and the dolphin pair would crest above the granite and have the half halo sunrise as the backdrop. And it would be life size. And Buddy mentioned he would want her kind of elbows to be at 6 foot height so that if you stood in front of it, she's kind of looking over you. And so that work again on a granite base, he's suggesting this be narrower. That was the original concept, that it's more of a rectangular column as opposed to the square. However, if you wanted more real estate for mounting plaques or etching names, you could make it a square. But originally it was narrower than it was wide. And then that pricing is estimated at 73,500. So it's a little less expensive for the second option. And you do have the figure looking out over the Gulf and the
Right,
dolphins facing the
yeah.
park.
Kind of like a dolphin.
Is the
Yeah, the
detail
front.
of the face
I know at first I like this.
On
but
that
I think
first
so,
one.
after seeing it,
what he's going for on that?
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's smaller and so you're seeing less detail, but if you like that option and that's the way you want to go, he will create a 24-inch version with more detail. So that if there's feedback or you want to better visualize it, that would be the next step if you select the column option one.
It doesn't say in here, other than the size on option two, other than, 10 feet tall by 3.5 feet wide, right? How big then? I mean, it looks like visually that if the granite's 10 feet by, 4.5 feet, 3.5 feet, then the dolphins are gonna be 4 feet, 3.5
Yeah.
feet, right? I mean,
Pretty big.
Yeah, he says
And then the
life
lady's gonna
changes
be-
for the lady.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
no, I'm just trying to visualize. I mean,
Mhm.
I can easily visualize what that would be like based on being 8 foot or 10 foot, right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's not hard.
Mhm.
Life size, clearly 8 foot ladies out there. But the I like it. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out on the option two, how big that would be. My and I think he's done a fabulous job. So I really like both of them. But my personal vision was to have a sculpture that you could see when you're coming into the jetties from the water. Yes, absolutely. I want people to be able to walk into the park, walk up to the statue, look at the names, touch the statue, all those things. But I like knowing or seeing that the actual statue is going to be so large or so life size that, and when I'm coming in on a boat, whatever boat, then that's something that catches my eye and I see this beautiful statue. Because I'm hoping at night it'll be lit so that you can see that. So I personally, although I like both concepts, would lean more towards option one, just based on the size.
It's definitely taller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
So it
have
would
to
be
have
20
the
feet.
model stand out there while you're on a boat coming in, and we can play with heights on what you can see.
I mean, certainly on option two, we can make that larger, right? I mean, we can make that granite statue 12 feet tall and the lady and the dolphins, larger so where you could see it up over the, over the peak, if you will. But a lot of these marine or mariner sculptures that you see in different towns that are particularly so close to the water like that, that's when you see them and you notice them when you're coming into that marina or
Right.
that harbor. So.
Yeah, I can think about, there's a lot of towers built that are, it's almost like a landmark of navigation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So in this version, the black marble's 10 feet tall?
9, 8.
9-8.
9-8.
Yeah.
And then in this version, this is like the
You
black is,
choose 8 or 10.
Yeah.
all right, so this one is, right, so that
Kinda
one
in
just comes up
between.
to the
It's
base.
basically half the size.
Yeah,
So conceptually, the bottom half of this sculpture would be kind of what you're looking at on option two. Obviously, I think the dolphins will be a little bigger, right? Because they're going to be on,
Oh, yeah.
but the lady's going to be on the angel lady is going to be on the opposite side. But again, just 10 foot tall.
but you guys think that she should be looking out over the water, correct?
Yes.
I think so. That's the part I like about the
I mean,
second.
she has an option two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, in option,
Two, she is looking out.
She is looking.
yeah, that's that one.
yeah, yeah.
But in option one,
She's not.
where's option one?
It doesn't really show.
Yeah, option one
Yeah.
doesn't show.
I clarified with him when
Okay.
he visited, his vision was
Her to
she
face
would be
the-
looking at the park because when you walk up to her, this is what, if she wasn't facing the park, this is what you would see from behind. And so he was envisioning pedestrians viewing it,
Mhm.
not so much boats.
Right, but the intent is
It's
that
for
the
the mariners.
mariners.
Right.
Yeah.
You're praying for
moral, I
those
think it's
leaving
more
the
important
harbor,
to see
Yep.
from
and
the
you're
Coming-
boat.
praying for
going,
them and giving thanks for them
Yeah.
returning safely.
Yeah.
Also, I don't,
I mean, I like the idea on option two of the dolphins on the backside.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can work
there.
Could we do it like that right there?
Yeah.
Sure, he could.
Yeah, I think you could to where she's
The-
facing the
yes,
ocean, the
and the
dolphins are on the,
Backside, so you
Pedestrian.
have something to look at when you
Yes.
come up to it from the back.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
switch that our direction.
Yeah.
Not, you did great job. Just
Yeah,
switch the
but
whole,
just
yeah.
that- yeah.
Good thing he built
See,
it in 2 pieces.
I know.
Yeah.
I like that better.
It's kind of.
And-
So
and-
the only thing we don't have very many of them, but we did have 3 recently. We had a vow renewal and a couple of weddings.
Aw.
And so in my head, I'm thinking about people sitting on the
Mhm.
lawn and a ceremony occurring. And now this is what will be the backdrop. So it doesn't, I'm just putting it out there. I'm not
Right.
saying one way or another, but I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know
That's
that
a
has
good
occurred.
observation. But
over
at least
the
now
past
there's,
couple
I
years.
mean, the back of her looks beautiful, but I think the dolphins make it look better. You know, that's what you would be looking at
agree.
here. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, I like the dolphins on the backside if you're as pedestrians walking up, because you look out in the ship channel, that's where you see most of
Mhm.
your
Well, and it's gonna look,
observations.
minus the halo, it's gonna look like a bird perched,
See.
because there's a feather detail to her
Right,
back.
right.
But
So there's something interesting there
Mhm.
too.
But of captaining a vessel inside that Joe's Jetties for a lot of years, it's real beneficial coming in and if she's lit, especially on the days
Oh.
where the weather's not always, you know what I mean? You just know when you see her, you know you're home.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, no, I think that's a
I
great,
just got
yeah.
goosebumps.
It's
Mm-hmm,
usually when you leave and come back.
yeah.
That's the best.
So you
See,
gonna
yeah.
go 16 feet tall or you're gonna
I
go
think-
20
I
feet
think
tall?
bigger
Up,
is
so we're
better.
going.
Bigger is better.
So bigger is over.
But
budget.
that,
Yeah. Is that
yeah,
4
that
feet?
fence is about,
Yeah.
it's about like that.
Okay.
Well, if we get a bigger one, then there are a lot more spaces to put, you know.
The donors
little-
that you're gonna need to.
Well, the
cover.
donors wall, I don't think necessarily has to go on
Okay.
the black marble.
I wanna
right?
do a little bit more homework there. I wanna know,
Yeah.
can you engrave in the field? I haven't had a chance to talk to a stone worker, but I think etching in the rock would look aesthetically better than a plaque.
I agree.
But I don't know if it's possible to do it once, like if we're gonna add every year, I don't know what the logistics of that are, so I have to do a little bit more homework
Okay.
on that side of things.
Right.
What are you guys leaning towards? Like you look at the Vietnam Memorial, that's black marble, isn't it, in DC, and it's.
With
they're
etched
all
names
etched,
and-
but I think they
Sure,
add
that's
to it.
nice.
Well, there's not more people
You can-
being.
Not more people. I don't think they had.
As MIAs get found, I mean, over the
Maybe.
years, they've added.
Maybe,
Change it.
yeah. You've got pictures.
So there's gotta be a way to etch.
There's gotta be a way, it's
Yeah.
just logistically, what does it cost?
Right.
You know,
That's
do
a
we
good
schedule it once a
question.
year and then?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Start on one side and do the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't have that many people.
I know.
It's gonna be there a
So-
while, but yeah, I think it would be, I think it would be neat if it were etched in the granite, so that you could do a rubbing if someone wanted to, like they do at Vietnam
Oh,
Memorial.
yeah.
That's a big deal for people to go and, you know.
There is other real estate out there too, so say, 50 years down the road, the monument is full, the walls could be,
Mhm.
what's it called when there's just a veneer of
Mhm.
granite could be added to make room for more etching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just with the plaque, you could do a little bit more, instead of just a name. You could do a little, you have the capability of adding a little bit more information.
With the plaques on our benches, there
Yeah.
is a 120 character limit, so some people add phrases or things to remember.
Something, yeah.
And that's another conversation that we're gonna have is, do you want a literary quote? Do you want a Bible verse? Do you want a descriptor on here? And we're not there yet. That'll be a conversation down the road, but something to be thinking about, keep in mind. And if some, special quote comes to you, write it down.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I clarify something? In here, like this
Mhm.
page, Colleen, showed just her, no halo.
Yeah, I
The
think
statue
she
has
added
the
the
halo.
halo.
Okay, I like the halo. I think it's a good idea. I also think it'll keep the birds from
Good idea.
camping out up there.
Two
Maybe.
big-
Oh, which one?
The middle one.
Well, that
Her.
he has a halo because I've.
Oh, the big doll.
in
Oh,
her-
yeah.
Just the angel might.
Yeah.
be
I
a-
think when he sent these photos, she hadn't earned her halo yet.
Okay,
I like the halo too. And you're right, it might
Change
They're
your hair color.
two purposes. Yeah. Birds
Yeah,
will be
the
landing on
question
that.
is that, will that, it looks pretty gnarly for a bird to land on it, but who
Yeah.
knows?
I think that will-
Anything.
Deter the birds.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I like that switched around like that. I think, yeah. Cause I first liked the other just because she was facing that way and you could see her halo above the dolphins, but I think I like this because we have the option of it being taller.
I think if you go onto the granite. Cause it's attached, it's not solid granite, right?
It's gonna, right, it's
Veneer.
attached,
right.
Veneer granite. So depending on the size of the granite is what gets etched. And I think everybody uses the same font and the same size as opposed to I mean, it needs.
What
to
do you
be
guys think? Do you just get a name and that's it?
No, no,
Name and a date?
but different people take characters, but it is a standard font size and it
It
is
needs to be
this.
Oh, no, yeah. It's,
Yeah,
So if
everything's
you-
exactly the same.
If
we're not
we
adding
do more than a
photos.
name or a date, like the one at the cemetery puts the year. It's the year and the name on the one over at Palm Cemetery for those people lost at sea. Is that the Coast Guard one or is everybody?
I'm not sure who's on it.
That's over there.
There's one monument that has plaques added to it.
No, it's not plaques. I think
It's just
it was all carved
touching.
in at one time, but
Mhm.
it's uniform. I don't know
Yes.
that they've
Yeah.
added, they just put everybody's name that's up.
The other idea that Buddy had was,
Cause we don't wanna start like what people do with tombstones and, well, can I have a butterfly and
yeah,
those? I think it needs to be
we're gonna have to come up with a
Monumental.
protocol for how
this.
this
Yeah.
program runs.
Okay.
And one of the ideas was maybe instead of standard rectangular plaques, the plaques are starbursts to mimic the halo. Like you could go with a custom, nicer, more artistic plaque if that's the route we go instead of etching. But like I said, tonight's mission
Just
is
this.
pick a direction
Okay.
and a size.
So he can get started, because it's gonna
Yes.
take him, I think,
So
5 or
he
6
needs
months.
To have the full size, and I'm sorry, I don't know the right artistic terms, but the full size model that goes to the foundry, he wants it there in April. So that they
Okay.
can work on it before the summer months hit.
Perfect.
So you still have to decide whether you want 8 or 10 foot on the granite and then the same for the.
Is this an 8-foot ceiling or 10-foot ceiling?
I think bigger the better.
So that's 8.
10 and 10.
From here to there, it's 8.
About
Oh, you're on
a.
From here to here, so this is 9. This is 9.
That's 9.
Or maybe I mean, I think it's gotta be proportionate to hold this statue,
Well,
right?
if
So
you walk up to 10 foot and this is 9. Her
Okay.
face
I
is.
see
Her
what you're
face
saying.
is gonna be pretty far away.
Her face is way up there.
then maybe the base is 8 foot
Yes,
and she's
that's
10
what I'm-
foot.
He didn't give that as an option.
He didn't?
Oh,
Because the base has
It's
to
8
be
and 8
10?
or 10 and 10 is
Oh.
what he
Oh,
offered.
okay.
Because they have to
Well,
be.
that ain't 1-to-1.
No, it's not 1-to-1.
That's like. If she's 10 feet, that's 6 feet.
Yeah.
There's 7.
Are we losing something if we put her face 20 feet in the air?
Not from the sea.
Not from
That's
the,
the
from the water, which is the point of that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what it means?
Yeah.
We come find out what it means.
Because what's the one down in Padre, the Jesus statue, and it's like, his face is,
big, yeah.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're way out there, it looks small.
yeah, his face is
I bet it's 30.
Jesus.
So
Well, look
20
at the
feet up.
statue
I
of
think the
Liberty, and
artist
it's
will know
huge.
how to accommodate
When you're way
that
out,
too.
both
I
looks small.
The little bit that I know, like the courthouse sculptures that are way up high, up close, their facial figures look a little odd because they were made to
From that
be
distance.
viewed from that distance, so
True.
I'm guessing Buddy knows how to do that.
Okay. So what do we think? 20 feet or 16 feet? Bigger?
So the 20-foot option is 90,500, so there will need to be additional funds either rebudgeted or solicited from donors.
What did we budget?
I think that's,
75.
yeah,
was
I
the
don't think
budget.
that'll be a problem.
75, yeah. Okay. Oh, I see it here. I'm sorry.
So the 10, 10.
Okay. I think bigger. This is my thought. The 10-10, the number 2 on this first sculpture. Her facing the water and the dolphins facing the park. With the halo.
The first design
First design.
with the halo,
With the halo.
and then the
10.
cost or the size of 10 feet angel and a 10 feet pedestal.
90,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do y'all think, guys? Chuck?
I mean, I think ideally if the granite could be shorter, then that might be better. But I mean, if he says it's gotta be 10-10, if they have to be 1-to-1, then that's,
I can ask for
Yeah.
clarification. You do have more real estate for more names, the taller it is. And then this second model was the 9'8", so it was around 10
oh, it was.
anyways, so.
Okay.
Should the
That's
base
true.
be more massive as far
I
as
think
width as
windstorm
opposed?
engineering is gonna tell us.
Yeah,
No, that won't matter.
It's granite and
It's granite. It's gonna be rebarred
Well,
and
it's a concrete
concreted.
base with a granite
Yeah,
facade.
I mean, that thing's gonna be
Okay.
bomb-proof. Although in Hurricane Harvey, as I was in the dorm room at UTMSI watching the storm, that statue out at UT, that new,
Ken Olberg.
it was sitting there just going, I was like just watching, waiting for it to snap.
But it didn't.
It didn't,
we
but
That has a triangular base,
yeah.
concrete
Okay.
base with a tile on the outside. And it's shorter. It's probably,
I don't think that thing's gonna budge.
Can make her a little heavier.
she's got a problem. I don't know if it's solid or,
I mean,
so I didn't ask.
did
him
he
about-
say the base or is the base on both of them 3.5 by? He never put the base on number one, other than 10 feet tall, but didn't say it's 2 by,
What is the
I mean,
width?
how, what's the width of the base?
Probably 3.5 is my guess. But a square.
Well, it
instead
says
of a-
here approximately the same size as the height and width of the sculpture. So same height and width.
And we're purposing our base, and that's why we're gonna put something on it.
This is at St. Joseph, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Which one's that?
Yeah,
one?
This
Yeah,
is in
the
Fort
Catholic
Ranges? Yeah. Do we know the size of that?
It's not.
It's life
It's-
size, I think.
Yeah, I think it's more life size.
yeah, cause you sit on that rock, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't you sit around the base?
Yes. And
Yeah,
it's-
it's pretty life
he's probably
size.
what, 6 feet maybe?
I mean, it looks like he's tall. I mean,
Period, yeah. Let's go look.
this one's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That one is
the
the
Yeah,
one
bigger.
down there.
But imagine that, however tall that sculpture is, imagine that on a piece of granite, the same height of the sculpture. Yes, it's up in the air. But does it then look weird if it's proportional where the bottom
think,
might be a little shorter?
I think the
10
base,
feet in the air there.
No,
Feet probably start at 10
but the
feet.
base,
I agree, Dale. I
what's
don't
her
thi-
base? 10
I don't
foot?
think it should be 10 and 10.
No, I think the base should be less.
I do too. I
And
think it should be
more
more like 6 and 10 or
wide.
something like that ratio.
That's not what he's.
Because if you were taking that sculpture and you wanted it up and you put her on a pedestal like that, that's a lot of pedestal, except that we're gonna put names and we want to put something in a meaning.
But see, I think that
That's not
ratio
the
looks
option.
good there, and
Yes.
that ratio's
I
about,
agree, whatever it is.
you know, it's not 1-to-1. That ratio's like, you know, it's like, well, not quite, but I mean, if she's 10 feet, then that thing's like 6 feet or 7 feet. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I would just ask him, just say, can we make the
There-
base a little shorter? Yeah, similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
think you
8
just
and
tell them to match that ratio. I think that ratio looks good.
Noted.
Noted. And I think we can find the money. For the amount that we have over the budgeted amount with private donations. If that's what we need to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've already had several people tell me whatever.
Too.
Okay, I just don't know how that, a motion to approve something over budget.
We can make it a budget amendment. I mean, whatever we need to do to move forward so he can start the. process?
I think I would.
I mean, we don't have, like,
I
City
think I would
manager can
make
do
a
it.
motion to amend the budget. I mean, you need to approve the entire amount because you never know what donations are gonna come. If they're gonna come, as you said, you've had people reach out, they are gonna come. But to commit, we'd need to commit funds now, the entire amount. Yeah. Right.
but, okay, the purpose of this was to decide which one, knowing it was gonna cost more than the budget item. So do we have to approve it a budget amount, even if we don't, I mean, because he's gonna have to come back, I'm sure, with a final bill, so to speak, so.
would say you don't.
15,000 for the base and the concrete work. So it's not
Yeah.
a sure number.
It's an estimate, so I'd say
anyways.
you don't know yet, so you. would
Yeah,
not
so we
do
don't
that.
need to do that, right? Just say, this is the
say you do
design we
that.
want to go with, and then bring us back a cost so we can amend budget item later.
I would agree.
Okay,
But not equal base and sculptor. No,
Yeah.
not equal pedestal and.
She's gonna ask that
We're gonna
first.
ask to keep the proportions of the model.
yeah,
This is just a motion to approve the design.
right. The recommendation is to direct staff to move forward with one of the presented concepts for the artist to complete.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. Do you have our concept down, Miss Simpson?
Yes.
Okay,
I have a 10-foot bronze angel on a pedestal that matches the ratio of the model with dolphins facing the park, lit at night with a halo.
facing the ocean.
Yes, dolphins facing the park.
Yeah.
Angel facing the ocean.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a motion for Colleen to move forward with said recommendation.
I'll make a motion for Colleen to move forward with this said design number 1 with option 2.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, Fran, please call the roll.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Krueger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers.
Yes.
Everton Crawford,
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thanks for your.
Thanks, Colleen. Awesome.
Good job.
Come on up, Nicole.
Boy.
Here's.
Where you going, Rob?
He's going for sunset. All right, item H, discussion and possible direction regarding potential amendments to the City of Port Aransas mobile food vendor ordinances in response to Texas House Bill 2844, Food Truck Freedom Bill.
What's it called?
Food
That's
Truck
colloquial. They
Freedom
do it.
Bill.
Food truck freedom bill is how it's referred to in all the.
PFB.
Oh,
So
really?
the Texas legislature kind of pulled the rug out from under us on their food truck ordinance, law. Thankfully, it was not the first version that we saw beginning because that one was much worse than the version that did come out. But basically, the version that came out that I included in the packet was taking away the ability for us to prohibit them in a way that they are allowed by the state. So the state will now give them their health permit. That gives them freedom to, do business without having to get an individual health permit from every city. Does take away some of our ability to do things that it enumerates in the law that the state can't do, so we can't do them either. But it does still give us the ability to regulate them the way we would a regular business. So, parking, the major requirements, anything that we think would be problematic about the food trucks, I think we can still write ordinances to cover. So no prohibition, but we definitely can still come up with ordinances. So what staff is looking for from you guys is just direction on kind of how to get this going. Since the law does come into effect on July 1st, we have to work fairly quickly to put these together. We need to be able to bring an ordinance back to you guys April for 3 readings to happen in April, May, and June to be in effect before July 1st. So far, we haven't had a lot of people reach out to us regarding the food trucks, but we have had a couple of local people that have asked kind of the direction that this is going to go in the city. And I said, pay attention to the city council meetings.
Be continued.
And our coastal management plan keeps them off the beach.
Correct. I believe that our coastal management plan is,
I think that.
I think we still put that into the ordinance
Yes.
too.
Absolutely.
In that meeting, it was parking and what else? There was something else.
So even TML didn't really have a whole lot of kind of guidance on this.
Trash,
Um,
parking.
but basically the same ways that we regulate regular businesses, we can regulate these types of businesses.
So
So
the zoning. Because we would not be the health certificate for a food truck. That's the
Correct.
county.
Correct.
Now the
State.
state's
That's
taking.
a state.
right now it's the
gonna
state.
take it.
Same thing with
And-
around.
The step and then
All the permits, the fees, their sales tax or whatever they do, that's all them. It would never be us.
I
It
don't know. if I'm
Never would
following.
have been us doing any of those things that the
Well,
state
sales
is now gonna be.
tax
Our
would be
issue
local.
was, don't come in here.
So no, we could have still required our own permitting. So,
Mhm.
But let them do it.
right,
And keep up with it.
correct.
So we have zoning, like where you're allowed to put these.
Well, we don't yet.
We don't right now,
Not
but we
yet.
need to.
We
Right now we have
created
this-
a zone for, it's not commercial. Or do they go on, did they give anything that said?
That's up to you. Like you
That's
guys might
what we're-
match where restaurants go.
Right, so C2 zoning is what you need for a restaurant right now. You could
Okay.
just say that we want to copy that zoning moving forward. You want to make a different zoning district, might be a little trickier, but we could put some kind of overlay
Do we
district.
want people that are in commercial areas to decide to sign a lease so that they can park on my private property when I close at the end of the day for as long as you want on the night?
That's something
That's
like
what-
what we
What we
envision.
would have to,
Or do we not, but as a city, or do we not want them to pop up in a store parking lot?
No,
Or a
I don't
church
think,
parking
I
lot.
think that's what's gonna, I think that's what's, we can't do. I don't think we can prohibit them that much.
Oh.
I think what we're envisioning is that you're gonna see them in people's parking lots with an agreement, like, hey, I don't have enough parking for them to be here while I'm open, but when I close at 6 PM or 7 PM, I'm gonna have a private agreement with these people. They're gonna have a key, they can come in and use my restroom, something like that. Like I know in Austin, they have to be within a certain amount of feet of a restroom that they have at least the person, I don't think for the clients, but for at least for the person working, they have the ability to go to a bathroom.
Not a porta potty.
we wouldn't allow a porta potty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would they be allowed at Old Town Park because there's
No, we don't have to allow them on city
city
property.
park? Okay, so we're building the things
Yeah.
that, no, you're not gonna go to a fishing pier, set up, and there's the bathroom. Okay, so that's not something. y'all
Unless
are
we
envisioning.
specifically say, we will allow one food truck permit per park at said time.
Yeah, you may
You know,
do,
I mean,
yeah, right, you may
yeah.
have 6 spots in Roberts Point Park that say food truck vending stall permitted. And you have 6 spaces, and if they're full, they're full.
Okay,
I mean, something like that,
Good.
you could do that.
well, would we want to create a food park area and that's where the food trucks go? Does
I
that?
think you would leave that up to private sector.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be my,
so we wouldn't put, like, the example you have,
yeah,
they can park in Roberts Point Park in these 2 slips.
yeah, I think let's leave it, I would prefer it to, let's leave this in the private sector for now to develop.
Yeah,
As
I
opposed to
think-
the city getting involved.
I think it would be a smart idea to probably write an ordinance that allows it on a single food truck on a lot with an agreement. Or, a lot that has the ability to do it, or a food truck park, and kind of come up with rules about that in case there was a
they're
giant
com-
vacant lot that
And
could
they're
build something
completely
like that.
self-contained, meaning if it's a vacant, other than a restroom for the worker,
I would say that
it's
the
self-contained.
the
They're-
majority of the food trucks are. I think there probably are some that aren't that would need some kind of commissary agreement. So if they have the ability,
But that's not our issue.
That's not our
I,
issue.
I think we write it into our ordinance in a way that says you don't need an agreement with you don't need a commissary agreement if you're completely self-contained, but then for food trucks that aren't completely self-contained, leave that in there as well,
Mhm.
that they can still partner.
I mean, I think our charge tonight needs to be to give staff some direction about council's general thought towards how big we want to open this up so that Nicole can go to P and Z if that's what we so desire, to push this down to P and Z and let them have a workshop with or without, obviously public input, and because I think there are some people that probably want to make public input, have the opportunity to have public input, and that's important, right? Whether you're for or against them, I think that that's important. And then there's probably some people that have some food truck vending experience, and ideas that would be helpful to be in these types of meetings. So my suggestion is that we, as a council, again, have Nicole start a meeting or two. We have to go quickly because we want this
Pretty
back
quickly. So
in
I need-
our,
I need-
dais.
If we're pulling P and Z in, I have to have P and Z approval in March.
Right.
So which really means over the next,
Mhm.
6 weeks, we need to be moving pretty quick.
Yeah. So in doing that, we need to give them some direction. And I think y'all have already. I'm not saying that we're not, right? But I mean, so that they don't go to P and Z and they're all saying, well, what do they want us to do? I mean, so we don't want them to have to just come. So what I'm hearing and what I think we've said for a while and other groups have said, we don't want it just to be
Free for all.
free for all.
Right.
Yeah, in the
Right?
streets, in the
Yeah.
parks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that, again, what everyone continues to say, or what I hear is that we want to have it as restrictive as possible, but still allow for them to be in certain spots and, allow
So I
private
don't
business to
think-
succeed.
For the summertime, I pull my food truck into where there's an agreement, but I'm not open. But I don't want to drive my food truck around, so I'm gonna store it on your property. Do we get to say something like that?
Yeah, so we can, existing businesses have a certain requirement for their parking. And we have the ability to say any additional uses like food
Yeah, but
truck
I'm
on the
not
property.
using a food truck until you close, but I'm gonna bring my food truck and just leave it on your property.
They could
which-
do it right now
Okay.
and store that there in a way that they weren't displacing required parking.
Okay.
And we wouldn't have the ability to stop them from storing a food truck on property,
Okay,
just like a extra RV or, if it's parked legally.
and do we get to say it has to be in a restaurant thing, C2? We don't get to
Oh,
say.
You get to
no,
say
zoning,
zoning.
yeah, you can pick your zone.
Yeah, we can definitely pick our zoning. So we could say not in a residential area. It has to be in a C1, C2, whatever kind of zoning made sense.
And it doesn't really get specific about that, Dale, in the law.
Okay.
But what the attorneys say is that you should probably mimic where you allow restaurants. You couldn't just say, all right, we're gonna allow them in the industrial district,
Yeah.
which is
A
one little
condo.
piece here and a
Yeah.
little,
A
I think if
condo
you did
unit.
that, you'd get in trouble.
A condo unit where I have a condo, big parking lot, is that C2?
It's not. So typically, it could be that those are in C2 districts, but
Okay.
mostly you see those in your TR1, TR2 kind of districts.
I think you stick it to your restaurant districts.
That's what I'm,
Just mirror.
That's my thought too.
Right.
But that's going to come up because people have talked about that. There are certain condominiums and probably certain lodging establishments that want the ability to say, we want to bring a food truck in every Saturday in July to provide food, beverage for our residents, just like Cinnamon Shore does, right? That's a whole different discussion because
And
it's
in-
in a PUD,
in
but
those-
I'm assuming
In
based
those
on.
zoning districts, you could have a restaurant built into a hotel or motel that serves those. So we could, take up those thoughts with
Okay.
all of that.
Yeah, I just think those are things that we need to
Absolutely.
have P and Z consider, you know, when.
Earliest district
And
used to be a
those are
TR1 or TR?
needed in the tell you,
Two.
restaurant owner, we need some help. It's crazy in the summer.
And-
We tell people 2 hours and they put their name down and then they don't come back because they didn't want to wait 2 hours.
Yeah.
So in the summer, there's a need. I'm a restaurant owner and I'm telling you right now, there's a need.
TR2.
Year two, yeah.
But I don't want to
TR2
see.
is the first district, is the lowest district that you see a cafe or a restaurant.
Okay.
Now say that again.
In a-
There's,
TR2 is the
Okay.
lowest district you see
um,
I
a
think that-
restaurant use in.
I think that's only says that it has to be part of the same structure.
Yeah, well, that's part of a multifamily, but it is for the use of outdoor people that are staying on site or off site. So it's, yeah, that's the first time you see it.
Looking at the current, going through the ordinance, obviously anything about food trucks or any mobile has always been through the zoning process. And so now moving forward, we've been having to deal with this House Bill 2844. So I'm just trying like everybody else to work on what's the next best step. And what came up, just researching is time, place, and a manner framework, which what they would recommend would be like a permit requirement, which would allow permit basics, minimum application requirements, and the bullet points for that. A second would be time controls, the when, examples, you know, maybe allow certain hours, but without going all the logistics, but just the framework of what it's trying to structure here is time controls, examples, place controls, the where, so we can handle that through zoning, space, access, those things you were talking about, and then manners and control, the how, where we can sit there and look at operating standards, safety standards, those type of things.
Exactly.
And then enforcement, compliance tools, and then operational policy tools, which would be pilot programs. Anyway, a lot of different stuff that we got to really look into, but I think, you know, that's. would be
and
a-
some of this will be covered, like, you know, health department comes in and makes sure. I mean, even at my restaurant, you
You
know,
set the hours.
So the law itself says that we can't regulate in a way that the state's not allowed to regulate. And the state law does say it says we may not, well, it says the state may not limit the number of mobile food vendor licenses or address the hours of operation.
wow.
We don't have to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
and under
Yeah.
what we're talking about here, it basically the framework sets up, it allows mobile food vendors somewhere, so at least we would be compliant. You know, working with that type of process, it regulates based on health, safety and impacts. And it does not favor the brick and mortar businesses, so it's because that's a restriction that the new law said, you know. And it avoids blanket bans, so I mean, it's just something to start digging into, if we get with a think tank to figure out what we gotta do.
I think you should
I
be at the
I-
meetings, Chuck.
I think
Yes.
you could be the council liaison to P and Z.
I think
Okay.
so.
There you go.
I think I'm
I'll be happy to help.
self-appointed over there.
So with us not being able to regulate how many or hours that.
There's a lot of stuff that's taken off of ours,
Okay.
but I think the major issues that we all see with food trucks, trash, too many in one location.
Right.
Parking requirements. I think we can address all of the problems that will arise with
Mhm.
food trucks in an ordinance that we write.
Okay, so it's a lot of work, Nicole.
Plus.
Thank you for taking on yet another
Yeah.
task. Hopefully your P and Z members will be excited about this task.
Yeah, we got to cancel a couple of meetings at the end of last year
You
because
do.
we didn't have anything, so we'll give them something to do.
There you go.
So,
Good.
I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
My intention is just to reach out to some people that, you know, might be good stakeholders to invite them to come to a workshop P and Z meeting
Mhm.
after we discuss this at next week's P and Z meeting. And then just plan out a schedule for the rest of February, spend March writing an ordinance that goes to P and Z in March and then to you guys in April.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, and let us know timing wise if it feels like there's not enough getting accomplished. Not that I want to pile on special meetings for any of us, but if we need to do that in order to get something accomplished, we need to do that.
Absolutely.
I mean-
So, for the sign ordinance, there were a few of you guys that came to those workshop
Yeah.
meetings. I would say that if you know, it might be a good idea, just given the short timeline that we have, for some of you to offer input at that meeting. So, I would love it if
I'd be happy to.
a
as
non-quorum
restaurant
group
owner.
of you would
I'll put
come
my
to that
input.
meeting.
Okay.
I buy a food
Okay.
truck.
All right, are you good with
Good.
direction? Got it?
With direction.
Okay, we thank you for your direction. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, item 7, city manager report.
Okay, you should have your non-FEMA city projects here. Start with Civic Center City Hall renovation. You guys should come by for a tour. It's really looking great. The main ballroom, the drop ceiling is all in. They still have some of the drywall yet to put in. All of the, you know, the AV stuff, the projector, speakers, all that wires in. Lighting is almost all in, and they're going to start on the baffle soon. And they're actually going to start on flooring start floor prep by the end of January. So the ballroom is really looking great. They actually started the framing out the stage today. So it's really starting to look cool. The lobby out front is also progressing really good. They had to chip out a really big, the chip out, the demo of the Saltillo tile was so thick. There was a kind of a false floor underneath that they had to chip out. Then they've built that back up. So they have all that done. They've redone all the walls out there, and they're putting in the new drop ceiling and the baffle system and the new lighting. So that's moving along really good. Doors are coming. So, you know, again, all new doors on the face, all new windows. Peggy's been doing a lot of work on mostly a lot of the work is like the probably, you know, once we finish this project, about 85% of this building will be by you come through a card reader with a swipe or a punch code to get access into offices. The only remaining corridor that won't have protection will be the finance hall.
Well, that's why she's giggling.
Yeah, but everything else, like all the new stuff, where Fran's going to be and HR on the backside of the mayor's office, all knew that, and then everything going into the building department, that's all under, you know, key swipe or, you know, bad swipe or punch code, and then the new stuff back here, and then also Peggy will also have the ability to remotely lock and unlock certain doors. So when there's an event and there's an emergency or something like, hey, the bathrooms we can't get to the bathrooms, Peggy's going to have the ability to remotely open and close doors or open and unlock doors. So that'll be pretty handy.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, so it's pretty handy.
That's
So
pretty-
it's coming along very nicely. The picture on the upper right, that's the breakout rooms back here. It's progressing really, really fast. They're doing the HVAC, plumbing, starting electrical. So that's all coming along nicely. You can really kind of walk it, and the wall frames are going up. So the metal studs in the wall, so you can kind of see how it's laid out. That's really progressing good. The lobby floor has been leveled. It's ready for the new, it's called marmoleum flooring that's going in there. It's really cool. It's going to look like a bathymetry mat going over a canyon.
Water-
As you're going
water
offshore.
sea.
So it's like
Can be
different shades of blue, and it looks like you're going over like a offshore canyon with the change in topography. So it's going to look really neat. We've also progressed with the architect gave us 4 different designs for redoing the courtyard area in the back. It's going to be a lot of pavers and bench seating, lighting up in the oak tree. So it'll be a really, really good addition to the rental here. So that's moving along good. And then the admin side, they've kind of slowed down on the admin side because they've pulled everyone over here for now. And they've done the waterproofing for EFS. And they'll jump back over. They're really concentrating on the ballroom, trying to get that finished and get this side caught up. The streetscape venue project So we're still in discussions. That hasn't moved a whole lot with EDSA. With the passing of the venue tax, but for now we're getting the venue tax set up, and Darla and I we need to get kind of hammer out how we're going to do the reimbursement for pre-booking. So we're trying to get that figured out. And then I'm working on some engineering, how I'm moving forward with the city engineer. So kind of got to get that hammered out. Community center renovation. So that picture right there is from, when's the flooring picture you took? Yesterday or the day before? Tuesday. So Tuesday,
Looks good.
that's the hardwood flooring going in. It's looking great. So we ended up like we said, when we came back a couple months ago, all that subfloor was rotted out. So we approved that. The second picture is the ceiling grid being installed. So it's actually looking good. They think they're going to be out of there in what, like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks? Yeah. So it's moving pretty good. They got to finish up some work in the bathrooms, but they have the decking all finished out front and the ramp. So it's moving. It's progressing good. I think they got a lot of people over there working now. So
Are the bathrooms in the park, the exterior bathrooms finished?
almost. They got some grout work to do, some last. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
But
they're getting
they're
close.
getting close. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The animal shelter, contract has been signed with the Shelter Planners of America, and they've started the design work. I've been getting updates from Michael. Yeah, Michael. And so here, kind of just the first few steps, day 1 through day 60 is they're going to be working on the schematic design for the next 2 months. And then they'll bring it to us. We'll put together a city staff review team. And then we spend about 5 days going over their schematic. And then, moving walls, adding this, subtracting that. And then they go back into 90 days of design development where they're really doing their architectural drawings, getting things nailed down. And then after that 90-day period, we have another design development city team meeting. And then after that, you get pretty close to bidding. So that's kind of the first, that's 1, 2, 3, that's 5 months right there of the next
Design.
4 big steps.
Yeah.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
moving.
In theory, you would have a project to bid for budget season next summer.
I think you're ready to bid by,
I know we have budgeted funds, but that way. you
yeah, I
have
think
real
you're ready to
numbers.
bid by June,
Okay.
give or take, really dependent on them, but
Right before budget, that'll be good.
yeah. Beach Access Road 1B, we did the final walkthrough last Tuesday. Looks really great. They had a couple small items on their punch list. We will open the road when TxDOT gets their signs up, because I want to make sure those TxDOT signs are up, because I don't want anyone coming to us saying, "Oh, you should have done it,"
Yeah.
So there's no harm in keeping it closed for now. TxDOT told us a 30-day period about a week and a half ago. So I think by mid-February, the signage will be up. And do you guys want to do an opening for that, or just open her up?
Spring
do-
break, probably be a good time just to open it up.
Yeah. So, I mean, but do you guys want to do like a ceremony, or just open her up?
We could all go drive down it first. Or something.
If you want to do a ribbon cutting, let me know. But if
Okay.
you're not, if it's a road, if you're not worried about it, we'll just, as soon as that TxDOT signage gets in, I'll let her rip.
No,
All right. Okay. I'll give you guys a heads
You
up.
go down there and Dan Parker can come take your picture.
Okay. Charlie's Pasture Bulkhead Park, that's Ed's again. It's kind of still, that's in the same boat with, I'm working through the city engineering issue, and I'll be bringing that back to you shortly. Lifeguard building. Okay, we are giving Victory Building Team kind of notice. We're working with them to vacate the laydown yard that they've been using for fire and EMS, because we've told them we're going to bid we want the lifeguard building bid to go out by March. Emily's got the design ready. So we want to get that thing moving and they're kind of delaying us. So we're giving them kind of marching orders to vacate the premise and
Clean
get
it up.
moving. Rec Center, if you guys driven by the Rec Center, it's quite the monument. Looks like a giant monolith. They put up those tip up walls in 3 days.
Mhm.
23 panels. It was pretty cool watching them. Did you, I know, Colleen got to go watch some of them, but it was pretty neat seeing the process. So that's the gym in those pictures. There's the kind of the south elevation and the north elevation, but it's pretty impressive. So they have that up and now they're going back and they're doing some of the remaining slab work that is in front of the gym. It's mainly the offices of the nature reserve and Parks and Rec folk. That slab is yet to be finished, so they're working on that. And then coming down the hallway towards the kind of the lobby, that slab's been finished, so they're kind of doing this middle area of the slab. So that's the next big task. But they're on schedule, and it's moving really good and progressing good. Fulton's a good group to work with. They actually have a superintendent that's a little he gets kind of fired up about anyone slowing him down. And so he likes to move almost too quick to where he's making our building inspector mad.
Oh.
Hey, you weren't supposed to do that. I didn't get to look at that. And he said, well, I called you. You didn't show up. So he's yeah.
That's good.
They're friends now, but
good.
this guy likes to,
Good. We told him. We had
man,
it done.
he's on it.
Like that.
And then last, item 9, the Avenue G Station Street traffic light. So it's all moving. And like I said before, it's kind of the same. The first 4 months is ordering all the parts. Then they come out and put them together.
It's exciting.
All right.
Okay, any other questions for David regarding projects or anything else? Okay, we'll move on to staff reports and start with Miss Darla.
You have the report in your packet and then I put out at your place the hotel motel tax. The 15th of the month is the earliest date we can possibly have a meeting. And with the holidays, we just did not have all the hotel tax stuff in until late yesterday. So it is still blowing and going for the month of November stays that were paid in December. The month was 24% up compared to last year. So we're up 29% for the first 3 months of the fiscal year compared to last year. And sales tax is pretty much going at that same pace. For the month, it was up 23%. The first 3 months of the year, we're up 16% compared to last year. Harbor Quarterly was up almost 2% for the first 3 months of the year. Daily was up 26%. And you do not have a golf cart sell page in your packet because we did not sell them in December until like the very last week. And there were just not enough, and we're trying to frantically get them in the system. But I do have news to report on golf carts. So I know there's been a desire to have them online, and we did not have software in the past that we had confidence in to do this, but the building permit software has been in play now for a year. And Nicole took the time and wrote an application and added the golf cart to their software. And last Thursday, I think it was, we went live with it here at City Hall. And so when people come in, we have 2 tablets up front and they can use their phone, scan a QR code, takes them, they have to input all of their information. Some people are happy, some people aren't. It does take longer, but not too long. And once they have it set up this year, by email address, they'll have it in next year.
It'll be easier,
Um,
right?
And it will be easier.
Mhm.
What we don't have worked out yet is the businesses, which Nicole thinks we've got a concept for that. She's working on trying to get that into where they will not have to go in and enter each
200 of them.
200 of them in a separate application each time. I think she can kind of do what she's doing with the electrical contractors where they can fill out their information once and then add on as a permit. Because right now we've been allowing the businesses to send us an Excel sheet and only fill out one application. But we're still working through that. We have not gone live on the website yet because we want to figure out how we're going to get the information out to them, roll it out, but we probably anticipate doing that the next week. Heather, our main cashier, was out this week for the first part of the week, and we didn't want to roll anything out new when she was out, and we were down a little bit on staff. So we're going to get that out in the next week or so. And the spread, so when we had people manually fill out an application, our staff would have to go and enter in Excel kind of all their information so that we have a database of how everything's registered. Now, with this system, we're not having to manually enter that. People are basically entering it when they enter their application, and we're able to download some programs, export them to Excel, and kind of get in there what we need.
So you'll still be able to retrieve the same data that you've have. It's just much more efficient because you have that person enter it when they come.
They're entering it versus us.
Yes.
Mhm. Now, we did sell about 1,000 plates in the first 2.5, 3 weeks before we rolled this out. So we are having to manually enter those, and as staff, we've kind of broken it up between all different people, getting that data into the MyGov, clear OpenGov system. And MyGov was the old one that we didn't like, and it would not have been able to handle this. And so I think it's working out well.
Good.
And
Awesome.
so we're also going, right now, we're not taking payments through that system, but eventually we will. They have to OpenGov, ClearGov, OpenGov. We have way too many Gov softwares right
Yeah.
now. They need to write a export, they need to update the export file that they send to our encode system for our
Okay.
general ledger.
For-
And they've got to work on that. And once they get that written and we approve it, then we will start taking payments in that system, which means somebody can mobile pay from home.
That will be nice.
Once we approve. Now, we do have to, they put all their data in.
Right.
They have to upload their driver's license, they have
And
to
their
upload
insurance.
their insurance, and we have to approve it before
Yeah.
it moves to that payment step. So they can't go in and do everything and say, haha, I live in Port
Yeah.
Aransas and pay $50. No, we have to approve it before it even gives them the option to pay.
Got it.
So, but I think it's going to work out well.
That's good.
I mean, I know that there's probably going to be a lot of frustration from some people's parts at the beginning, but I think it's incredibly efficient, and that's great. Kudos to
Very.
you guys working together to make it happen.
Definitely helping staff.
Yeah.
Entering
Oh,
into that
100%. Yeah.
Excel, you know, putting
Once they're in the initial work and then you're just adding and subtracting,
correct,
I believe it's gonna be nice because you already have the data.
correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's a win other than the first time.
I think so too. And that's what we're telling everybody when they come in and they're kind of, him-hawing around. We're like, but you do this now and next year all your data's going to be there. They may not remember their password, but they could do a password reset with their email address. So,
I've listened to a bunch of them just being in the office over the last couple of days, and it's very interesting. And the staff y'all are doing a great job handling them, each and every one of them that come in, and
requiring a little bit, hand holding that
Yeah.
first time,
Yeah.
especially the ones that are not as tech savvy. But
it's the way of the
I think
future.
tech savvy. So, yeah, any questions?
So let me ask you, for the rental companies, I mean, shouldn't they have already come in and entered all theirs?
Yeah.
So they're just gonna let people drive around town with expired license plates?
Yeah, this is about normal. We have some that are pushing it right at spring break.
The chief hasn't spoken yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing on.
This is a great opportunity to get some, no.
when he says on Monday they're gonna start ticketing, it'll be busy.
They'll come in. Mhm. It's true. Once they know that they are starting to enforce, they do come in.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot physically handle all the rental
Well,
companies
I
in the first 2
understand.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our biggest Cinnamon Shore already has come in and theirs was huge. They're, yeah, 368. Was a lot.
At least they came in and
They
got a
came in
jump
and
start.
I've already done theirs, but they didn't do it in the system, so we have to type all those in.
Oh, well, you had to do that anyway, probably, I
That's-
guess. I mean,
But that's okay.
But they've done their,
Do a few at a time.
And some of the
Do a
businesses
few
do
at a
do a few at a
time.
time. They do, here and here and here and then, yeah, as they need them. But we do encourage anyone that wants a vanity, do that sooner rather than later so we can get them printed.
oh, yeah.
So
So, is there anything being advertised to those rental, I'm assuming you've reached out to all the rental companies and
We
said,
have
hey, we have this
not.
new process?
we have not, because
Okay.
we have not hammered out that process completely
Okay.
for them.
Okay.
So Nicole said she thinks she could have an application by Monday, the 19th when we're here. And I said, well, I'm not gonna get it on Monday, the 19th. So she said she might come in Monday though.
Oh,
and
well.
work on trying to get
Oh, yeah.
that figured out, but that's what
Yeah,
I
it's a holiday.
But
she's happy to be here by
yeah,
herself.
when we do,
Okay.
and we're gonna work on how we're going to link that on the website and tell them it's a simple click of a button that we've got to do, but
But to the point you made, and obviously Dale made as well, next year, much easier, much simpler.
yes. And businesses throughout the year switch carts out.
Right.
They have a
Yeah,
cart that
they
leaves
do.
their fleet, comes in their fleet. For them to do those changes will be
Yeah.
easier
Easier
too.
too. Okay.
In the long run. So. But it's working well.
Okay. Everything else financially sound?
Everything else going well.
Chuck, any comments? Find any questions?
Sound is bound.
All
Good.
good.
All right.
Okay, all right. Thank you
Excellent.
very much, Darla. Okay, next is Development Services. Miss Nicole, you're up.
Right, so I gave you kind of a year wrap up here.
You're right.
Very fancy presentation.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, is that our official logo? That doesn't look like the
I was
fish.
looking at that.
Stretched a little
Not
bit.
official. A little stretched out.
I
Sorry
think-
about that. It was a little, I had to fill the page. Okay, so this is, if you look on the first page with the pie graph, we issued 1,097 permits this year. And that included 3,788 inspections. And if you remember, we have one inspector. So the man stays very busy. He is on vacation right now and will be back early next week. Well-earned vacation.
Mhm.
Pass rate is typically about 84%. Good news about Scott is he's very good about if there's a slight issue, he'll say, okay, fix this. I'll be back in an hour, and he'll come back to help pass that. So I think the contractor community really appreciates that about him, and that keeps that pass rate pretty high. It's easier for him to do it that way than to, spend a whole nother day coming by. Fail rate's only about 10%, which is really good, which means our contractors are doing a good job on the things that they need to get done as well. To the next page, you see we are down overall in single family permits. We only issued 105 this year. We still have quite a few under review. Definitely, compared to the just after COVID time is a big jump, but it feels more kind of normal on the pace where we were the years before the pandemic. The big news on that is that last paragraph. So in addition to the newly issued permits that we still have 171 houses that are in various stages of their construction. So he is not just doing inspections on the ones we've issued this year. These houses are sometimes taking 2 or 3 years to build. So he, is still inspecting quite a few houses. Commercial building permits is always hard to gauge because some commercial permits are really big, like the new checkout store, like the Texan, and some commercial permits are very small. So this number is always just a really hard one to kind of gauge activity on based solely on the number. We do have a couple of big commercial projects that are under review right now, including the 1A Center that's going in behind the Texan, water park at Spoonbill Bay that they're working towards, in addition to the new checkout that's going in that location as well. So lots of good commercial activity going on as well. Swimming pool permits I always thought was interesting. We issued 73 swimming pool permits last year, and I think we didn't look at years past, but I think that's pretty on target. So swimming pools are definitely, you know, over the last few years have been a major contribution to Port Aransas. Code enforcement over the year, they opened 416 cases that included 368 different inspections. Again, that number doesn't really always encapsulate everything that they're doing because they do so many things just by drive-by and fixes, by phone calls and fixes where they don't actually open a real case. I'm looking at kind of a smaller thing where they can enter everything that they're doing so that we get a more robust kind of picture of what they do on a day-to-day activity. So you'll see that those numbers are much higher than that 416. Then the short-term rental. So we included the short-term rental permits or registrations that we had last year. And then we also pulled the numbers going back to 2022, which is really as far back as we can go with really accurate numbers. So you see that that has steadily grown over the years with our new software. We're able to catch some that maybe we weren't catching before. Those numbers too sometimes can be a little inflated because we do require a new registration with every new owner. So those numbers are also going to include houses sold, permits closed, and permits issued. I'm going to work with Laura this year on trying to see if we can figure out how to account for that in the reporting so that we know how many just true individual registrations we've got. Other than that, that's all I got.
I like all your nice pictures.
Yeah, that's good.
How many beds we have?
Can you figure that out?
So bedrooms, yes.
Probably not beds.
Probably not beds in the bedrooms because you've got bunk rooms.
Yeah.
We allow, you know, extra sleeping in
But
different
we
areas
have,
too.
but we know the maximum sleeping for a house, right?
Correct.
Not that it gets used all the time, but we do know, we have.
We
that.
know how many bedrooms are there, and since our occupancy rate is linked to bedrooms, we
Yeah.
can say, you know, this 5-bedroom house is only supposed to be 14 people. I would imagine they would not have more than 14 beds, but
Just driving the beach at one of the boardwalks, there's this really big extension on one particular area. I was curious.
so are we. We're waiting on him to pull that permit now.
Okay, we do the beach ride every morning and I was
He's-
there and I looked and I said, man.
He spoke with us. He came to me sometime in October, November of last year, trying to figure out if they needed permitting to fix this boardwalk. So we talked to him and talked to an engineer in a way that might not require a dune permit. And I think that he misunderstood that. And we have stopped work on what was going on out there and we are waiting to get that permitted line.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. that was pretty
Thank
extreme.
you,
I mean,
Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. All right,
Okay.
Daniel, welcome.
Well, we'll start off with our normal monthly report. 76 calls in the month of December, which is kind of funny. It matches in 2023 to 76, and then the opposite in 24 is 67. So what's going on there? Response time 3 minutes 54 seconds, which is good, and has continued to get better month after month, which is the goal. Transports over 50%, 43 transports, still Bay Area becoming our #1 place, but we spread out the love a little bit, went to south. When we go to Spawn South, it's typically because one of the patients are requesting that. It's their hospital, like that. Other than that, we had a few of the highlights: the Christmas parade, the boat parade, and all the different standbys, the drone show, everything that happens in December, all the fun holiday stuff. Coast Guard standby, whenever they did the delivering Santa to the school, which was really awesome. It was great to have participation from the Coast Guard, and it does. I guess it requires a lot more fire and EMS there because we have to stay there, we have to keep the road closed.
landing and taking off, of course, is the most dangerous part of it and the operation of it at any time. So we stayed there the whole time, which was good. It was a good PR event. And then, of course, the fireworks standby. So that was kind of that. Of course, then I had the opportunity to be walking by Fran's office at the inopportune time whenever David said I can do a little additional presentation for council. So here we are.
Oh, you're the host of the month.
Yeah, kind of. So I just really, it's going to be short and sweet, but I just wanted to do something on Education by the Sea, just because the fact that the new conference center and everything that's coming up and how excited we are and everything. And so simply just kind of go over a little bit of the overview. We're excited about the new website. I'll jump into that a little bit, and then just a little bit about demographics and the continuing education opportunities and just how important it is for us to have this in Port Aransas. So yeah, Education by the Sea, this year it's going to be the 13th through the 15th of May. And we're excited. It's going to be the newly remodeled Civic Center. We're still planning this year to cap it around the 300, 350 mark because we don't know about the breakout rooms and the extension of how far we will be at that point. So yeah, and then, the focus is just to be able to do some kind of skills and do CEs for all of our community in the EMS world. We do, of course, with Port Aransas, the city of Port Aransas EMS hosting, it's just kind of it's a good little spotlight and a highlight for our town. We get to show the leadership here in Port Aransas on what we do for, the local EMS and how much it does. That's kind of ahead of the curve in a lot of places. And so we get to go and do the education part of that, which it's exciting. And once again, it gets to showcase us. And then there's the community involvement of, having our local expertise and then what we do as far as rapid response and our response times and just the strong ties of like what we do in the community as far as CPR classes and stop the bleed classes and training throughout all the different boat captains and the UT and the schools and just all the different ways that we host here in the community. And then of course just talked about some of our partnerships with the conference going on 10 years, or actually I think this is 11 years, but 10 years of actually having it because of COVID year. And just the good track record of that. And so some of our partners, we went about 3 years when we started this, and then we partnered with Emergicon, which is our billing system. And they've been a great partner in a lot of ways. They've helped us, just the branching out and they go to conferences around the clock. That's the people that we partner with, that's all they do. So, they could go to 20 different conferences throughout the year and they get to spread the word on Education by the Sea. And so we do flyers and do everything else to hand out to them and then they pass them out. And so their reach is pretty far and wide. And then they also offer discounts to the conference if you're one of their clients. And so they are Texas based. So a majority of all of theirs that they help is all coming from Texas.
When we see them at TML, when they see our Port Aransas, they're like, we love Port Aransas.
Yeah, they've really been great in a lot of ways.
Daniel, are your attendees only from the state of Texas?
They're not. We do have some that come from other parts. We had somebody that was just down here visiting. They were down here and they're from Canada actually, and then they came in and purchased a walk-in and just sat through it. So yeah, they're all over the place though.
How when the breakout rooms are complete, I think just by walking through those, it looks like they'll probably hold another couple hundred people, so you could really expand your.
Yeah, I know original estimates, and I think I talked about it, and I don't know how accurate this still is or not. It was closer to like 700-800, but I don't know if it really is, depending on how we separate them and how we do the tables and the chairs, and a lot of conferences you go to, you don't have tables in front of you, you just simply have chairs.
Right.
So if we went in there and just stacked chairs, we could do something like that. The biggest obstacle we have would be stacking chairs. We could do in the breakout rooms and really get that number up, but inside the main room wherever we serve food, we got to have the tables, and so we'll just have to figure out a system on how we do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but even if we could get to 500, 600, it'd be good. The last year we sold out. I think the year before was almost, and I anticipate this year as well. We were a little bit late to launch our registration, not knowing about the construction. And it's also, we'll talk about in a minute about the website, but yeah, so it's going to be good.
So you plan on doing the food in there?
Yeah, we'll end up doing it just like we normally do. Just do it in there. We have buffet line at lunchtime,
Talking about dinner.
Yeah, dinners will still be off-site like we
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Just curious.
This is kind of crazy. So a few of these slides I actually put into AI to see what it would come up with. And not knowing anything, I put in there, education by the sea, Port Aransas, Texas, what's the deal? And so they came up with 3.2 nights on average and what they stay. Mine showed it's about 3.5. It's real close. So it's kind of funny how close it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, being that the Friday we get out at lunchtime normally. And so some people stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, it could go all the way. There's a handful that stay 6, 7 nights, you know. So that's pretty cool. This is the other slide that it showed. So direct spending exceeds 600,000 mission lodge and dining, transportation, retail. And so I was kind of kicking that around, just, you know, 300 people, 4 or 5 nights, you know, some 3, 4 or 5 nights, who knows? And then not only that, you know, renting and then all the food and everything else. So it's kind of interesting what AI is doing, you know, to us. So it's pretty interesting. Potential challenges, you know, like I was showing there, is just managing the increased demand. So as we grow and as we get bigger, like we're talking about with where we're going to serve the food, how we're going to do it, and how we're going to scale, that's kind of going to be some of our challenges, but it's something we can't take on. And then, of course, you know, community engagement, I kind of hit on that a minute ago. And then just the opportunities for the community as a whole is just expanding the education tourism, which is not a huge thing we have here, but it's growing. So that's kind of fun. Of course, with the UT, they of course have some of that tourism as well. Let's see here. So continuing education opportunities, if you go into this, just some of the things that we do for continuing education, we offer around 15 hours typically. Sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 16 to 18. And then we are an accredited site here in Port Aransas by the state of Texas, so we are able to give those credits out. So some of the different stuff that we do our education on is anywhere from clinical stuff, you know, where we can just go and they can learn medical or trauma or any of that kind of stuff. The different educational stuff to see if you want to become an educator in EMS or an educator in anything that's involved with the hospitals or anything like that, because we've expanded this conference to a lot of the nursing in the hospitals and everything else. And so that's one of those things that's it's really just opened up that scope on what all we could teach during this. We talk about different policies and procedures and protocols, and that's one of those things where I was talking about Port Aransas is a little bit advanced on a handful of procedures and stuff. And so it's kind of nice to be able to showcase what we do, and then they get to go home with them, and then we offer options where they can take our policy or protocols and then, you know, adapt it to their services. And then just the technology, like I was talking about with AI, even just here recently, our patient portals that we take care of whenever we have a patient, and we fill out all that information. So now if you fill out the flow charts completely right and all the information that you put in, if you get to your narrative, you can actually get assisted with AI, and AI will write your full-blown narrative, which it's incredibly helpful, and it's kind of crazy. You know, I started looking at those numbers on our guys. We activated that about 2 months ago, and who all uses it and how much it helps. And then I can see if they've edited the AI version of it. So it's kind of interesting, but man, it is it's insane to see what it can come up with and how it delegates. It is really coming long ways. Some of the stuff is you know, our featured speakers, and so some of, like this guy that you see in the picture, he actually comes from Florida. He's from PWW, which is an attorney and EMS law, and so he comes out every year and he does a lot of credentialing for EMS law, what keeps you out of trouble on your refusals and on your regular reports, and what you really need to have in there. So we bring in speakers from all over the place. We have them from Ohio, we have them from Tennessee, we've got this guy comes from Florida, and so they're nationally known speakers that we see at the biggest conferences in the country. So it's kind of crazy to see it in Port Aransas here that we get to bring in these good speakers. We bring in some paramedics, so like we teach a class. And some of the classes or some of the conferences, you know, one of our guys will go up and teach a class on some of the stuff that we're going over. Being involved with the RAC here locally and being involved with the hospitals, I've had multiple, the trauma surgeon over there, the stroke coordinator, all of them, they all, like last year, they came over here and taught a class. And so having some of that local stuff as well, it was kind of nice to have some local support, which we haven't had a lot of in the previous years. Public health officials and the state EMS director, Joe Schmieder, he's come down, and then our regional guy here, Esteban. So anyway, it's kind of nice to be able to have such a different variety of speakers that are willing to come here and educate everybody. So The next one, and then just some of our topics, which I hit on a little bit, just some of our emergency trauma care, disaster preparedness. You know, we partner up with some of the people that put on the hurricane conference, and we talk about some of that. We're recently getting involved with a little bit of the deployments and learning about all the different command structures. So that's some of the classes. Pediatric emergencies, you know, partnering with Driscoll on some of that. And then, of course, one of the big things now is the mental health crisis, which is really just taking over with the first responders across the board. You know, they're building peer support teams, which is becoming huge. It's becoming huge. Like even whenever they send out a team on deployment now, they don't just send an ambulance anymore. Now they send a peer support, you know, security, an ambulance, UTV. They send out like a whole package. And so used to it would just be one independent, one division of that. So it's just some of the things that we all touch on. But I think that's about all I have for you. Unless anybody has any questions or something like that. Some of the fun we've been having. Thank you.
Great
Thanks,
job,
Daniel.
Daniel. Thank you.
Nice presentation.
Very.
Very good, man. You get a 12-month vacation.
He's like, is that paid?
Vacation from council.
Yeah. Okay. Chief, you're up. Last but not least.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep it quick. So, December was pretty steady. 2,300, a little over 2,300 calls. For service, we had 321 911 calls. And then there's the breakdown by the department. We had 81 charges that we filed in the municipal court and 22 arrests. Out of the 22, we had filed 29 total charges on individuals. And so we had 6 on warrants, 6 were for alcohol-related offenses, including 1 DWI, 6 drug-related crimes. 1 was charged with resisting arrest. We had 1 evading and 1 unlawfully carrying a weapon. And some of these offenders were charged with more than 1 offense. 2 minors were charged with alcohol-related violations, and we had 1 golf cart citation. And as of the end of December 2025, we had 27 sworn and 7 dispatch full-time employees authorized. We have 1 dispatch position open. I anticipate keeping that position open until probably April or May. I have an officer that's pregnant and she's on light duty, so she's filling in that role until she has her baby, and then we'll go out and try to fill it. So we're not actively trying to fill that position at this point. And we have 25 sworn positions filled. 2 of them are in the early stages of FTO, and we've got some recruiting efforts going on to fill the last 2. We had the annual toy drive in December, and it was a great success as usual. I wanted to thank the fire department and EMS for their continued support of the program. They're always a great help. And then I just put 1 item on here for the arrest that we had. I kind of wanted to highlight a little bit of using different types of tools to have an outcome, kind of like we do with the alcohol ban when we during spring break. So I had a couple of officers that tried to stop a bicyclist for not having a headlight on his bicycle. Looked out of place. There was a lot of stuff that was kind of going off about this guy, and he tried to get away from him, ran into a business and tried to hide his backpack inside the business. The officers went in, confronted him, brought him out, and detained him in handcuffs. The business owner came out and was like, "Hey man, he dumped a backpack in here. Y'all need to come get this. We don't want it. We don't know what's going on." And they were able to make an affirmative link with the person with the backpack because they found his ID in it. It had a gun in it and some unopened alcohol and things. So something very small and minor led to something much bigger and more dangerous. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that broken windows sometimes,
Yeah.
So that's they ended up taking the guy to jail and they gave him a warning for the no headlight on his bike.
And he had a 9mm in the backpack, loaded with a
round in the chamber. Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
Yeah. He had a one-way ticket out of here, right?
Yep, that is absolutely correct. He got sent over to the county jail.
Yeah.
So,
and one thing that Chief and Fran and I are working on is that the AG issued a new opinion that came out. It was earlier this week, but basically it's about open carrying in a council meeting.
Yes.
So, right, so it's been in the news, so so some changes coming here, so most likely we got to figure out what the protocol is, but most likely you one day might see someone open carrying in here because of this new AG opinion.
Fortunately for us, for the local population and even for most of our visitors, except for a few times a year, we don't see a lot of that. Most of the people that we come across carry a weapon in their vehicle. They don't carry it around them in town and stuff like that when they're traveling back and forth. That's the most of the stuff we see, with the exception of, peak times like spring break or some of the more crazier times. But for the most part, we're pretty fortunate where we don't see a whole lot of that locally. So,
But if it makes you feel better, in 2008, 3 people at the dais were packing.
yeah, I remember that.
Oh, it's supposed to. They didn't tell me. That wasn't in the.
Yeah. Lord. Okay. No.
Thank you, Chief.
Great job. Thank you, Chief. Okay. Item 9, city council comments and items for future consideration. Everybody's good for next month's meeting, which is going to be on the 19th. Okay. And then I think at next month's meeting, we should probably discuss March and April's meetings, like the dates, because
Yeah,
spring
for
break, and I think there might be some conflicts with some people for April. So can we put that on the agenda for consideration in February to make sure we're in good shape?
Okay.
Okay.
Spring break early. I mean, the first
So
is
early.
early this year. Which was. Oh.
All right.
Okay. Anything else?